Hey folks, how you doing? Papa Joe here. Well, I'm a tired puppy today. Got kind of drug out. Just got out of California. Oh, out here at TA somewhere in Arizona. California dreaming. For us truck drivers, California dreaming's getting the hell out of there without a ticket. Been out there the last 3 days. Let's see, what did I do? Tuesday I delivered in Albuquerque. I think I talked to y'all Monday, Tuesday type deal. Monday night I did, I think. So I delivered Tuesday in Albuquerque. And hauled butt towards California. Wednesday I got off. I was in California Tuesday. I made it in there, of course. I don't remember where I stopped at. It don't matter. Wednesday I had 6 drops out there. So I had Bakersfield, Fresno, Lodi, West Sacramento, and San Francisco. So I got 4 of the 5 off Wednesday out there, which surprised me. It would look good, so I let dispatch know. Communications, drivers, communications. I've told y'all that a long time ago for the new drivers. If you've got a dispatch that's worth a damn, you need to learn to communicate with them. If you two can stay on the same page, it works sweet. This deal of a lot of dispatchers, they act like that information's gold and they don't want to give it up. They won't tell you until the last possible got to know minute. That's a crock of bull. So my dispatcher used to drive a little bit, not a whole lot, but he used to drive a little bit. So he's got a half a clue. And he's got a few old goats like me on his board. We help him learn. He's doing pretty dadgum good. So kudos to you, Ronnie. So I gave him a call after I got a couple of them off, and it looked like I was going to get more off. Told him, because I'd already told him, just figure me Friday. It's gonna, with all the miles I got in California and 5 drops, figure Friday. Started looking pretty good. I called him up and I said, figure Thursday. I said, I might accidentally get all 5 off, and I almost would have. Except the one in San Francisco quit receiving at 3:30. I would have got there about 5. So the next morning I got on into San Francisco. Took me right at 2 hours to drive about 2 miles. Went over to Bay Bridge and they had something and it had traffic backed up. So I gave myself 3 hours and figured I would get there by 7 their time. I got there about 7:30, and I was only like 84 miles away. So it took like 3.5 hours to do 84 miles. So much for beating the traffic, huh? Plus, I had to pay $25 to get across that bridge. Gee, thank you. Speaking of that, I didn't total my reimbursements. Yes, I did. Yeah, I did. Paperwork got turned in, and I can't help it. So I got that one kicked off. When I was talking to dispatch the day before, on Wednesday, he was asking me if I wanted to go home or what I wanted to do. We haul dedicated freight out of Oklahoma City, and we get broker freight going back that direction. And he's cool enough, if I want to go to Georgia and see some folks, or Florida and see some folks, or go home, or whatever. All I got to do is tell him, and he will try to get me that way. And well, you know, I got work going on down at the house, so it wouldn't bother me to swing by the house for a day or two and see what progress is being made down there. So while we're talking, here comes a load. And he's like, well, let me off this damn phone. Here's a load going right by your house. And he got the load. Needed a load the next day, Thursday. Broker told him preferably by noon for me to be there, but definitely by 3 o'clock. They closed the door at 3 o'clock. Really? So I got up early, like I said, to beat the morning rush hour traffic, and this was in, oh, dadgummit. I should know the name of it, too. I hate it when I forget stuff. Let's see. Bad word. Oakland. How can you not think of Oakland? So I'm delivered in San Francisco and picking up in Oakland, 20 miles away. That's a pretty good deal. And it's going to Houston, about 80 miles from my house. That's a good deal. So I did my part. Got in there. I got messed up in San Francisco. I ain't gonna lie to you. Where I went, where I was delivering, was in the old part of town, and I was trying to follow my GPS, and yes, for you old drivers, I did call them the day before, but the old boy I talked to, he sounded like he did good to find his way to work every day. We've all talked to them kind. I didn't want to get directions from him. So from what I eyeballed and what the GPS said, it should have been a no-brainer. Until I got down there on the side streets, and one of them I'm supposed to turn on, no trucks over 4 tons. Well, so much for that. So I'm looking. I'm less than a mile away. I mean, 1.2 miles away, I think is what it actually was. And it's right here, and I'm right here. Well, let me go down here and just circle around. There's got to be a way. While I went down there, now I'm sitting there looking at the bay. Or harbor, whatever it was. With construction up in front of me, it was not good. Still wide street, but it was getting narrow just right there in front of me. So I eased her over on the side. There was parking there on the side, so I parked. I called my dispatcher, and he said, "What's up, man?" He says, "You empty now? I see you right there." Because he pings my truck every morning to see where I'm at, and I don't care. I'm one of them that if I'm somewhere I'm not supposed to be, I'll have an excuse for being there. Other than, well, maybe only because I want to be here. So I don't worry about that kind of stuff, them tracking the truck and all that. That don't bother me. Back in the day it did. These days I don't care. I said, "No, I ain't." I said, "I need you to get me the heck out of here." Well, he starts laughing at me, making fun of me, which is cool. We have a good rapport. So he pinged my truck again to see where I was at, brought it up on the map. And he said, "Yeah, you're in a predicament." I said, "Yeah." I didn't need you to tell me that part. I knew that. So he starts telling me what it looks like on the map, and I'm like, that ain't looking good from where I'm sitting. Just go to that street right up there, make a right, go up to the next street, make a right. I'm like, those rights ain't looking too good from my point of view. That was about the only option we had, other than me just doing a U-turn, which I could have done. It would have been a tight one. Would have had to jump up on the sidewalk, but I could have turned the rascal around. That's why I stopped where I stopped before I got in the worst predicament. I said, "Well," I said, "you get to stay on the phone with me, and if I get in trouble, you're my witness." So I eased on down there, and I made them as wide. I mean, I took up all the street, the one I was on and the one I was turning on. And it's San Francisco. You've seen the old show Streets of San Francisco? They do this. Yeah. Luckily, they was my last drop, and I only had about 6,000 pounds on. I think it was 6,300 pounds on. So I made that turn, got up, had to climb straight up, and then I had to make a sharp right. I made that. Now I'm in a bunch of government housing on skinny streets. There was no way that no car was going to come on and meet me, because I'm taking up all the room there was between parked cars. Managed to get to my receiver. It was not a good morning. Well, yeah, it was. I didn't hurt nobody, didn't tear nothing up, and didn't get no tickets, and I got there. So overall, it was a successful morning. So, you know what I did? As soon as they got me unloaded, I said, now tell me how to get the hell out of here. I said, the way I came in was not the way I want to go back out. So they told me, and it was a lot easier getting out of there. Which, you know, for you guys and gals coming into the industry, guess what? It ain't a matter of if you get in that kind of predicament, it's a matter of when. Because we've all been in them. Do you know the difference between a rookie and a professional? The rookie panics. So when you get in that predicament, don't panic. Make yourself stay calm. Make rational decisions. I've seen a couple of videos, and one of them, it wasn't Swift, but it was a company like that. He's got a low bridge in front of him, way too low. He can't go under it. And he starts trying to turn around, and he puts this fairing and everything in that trailer, tears the fairing off. I mean, backing up, and oh, it was crazy. And any professional driver watching him, they're yelling at him, stop it, dumbass. If he had backed up, there was a real wide driveway that he could have backed that trailer into. But instead of trying to back into that driveway, or he could have backed up farther and pulled the truck up in it and backed the ass in toward that low bridge. But he panicked, and all he could think about was turning around. So to turn around, he destroys his truck. I mean, he tore the bumper off of it because of the incline he was trying to. It was bad. So your biggest difference between a rookie and an old pro, we don't panic no more. We've done been in enough with like, well, shit, here I am again. So there you go. So I get over to my shipper that's this load takes me home. I'm talking to a local guy. They only allow one person inside at a time. And he's standing outside, and I'm like, "Do you already check in?" He said, "No, there's someone in there." I said, "Okay." He said, "They only allow one in there at a time." I said, "Okay, you've been here before?" And he says, "Every day." I said, "I'm sorry." So he says, "What time's your appointment?" I said, "I wasn't told about no appointment. I was told to be here preferably before noon, and damn sure by 3. They close at 3. And he said, "No, they don't." And I'm looking at the hours right there. From 3 to 3:30, they're taking a break. So it must be the other shift. So I go check in. I have 3 o'clock appointment. It's 9:30 in the morning. I was very aggravated. I was very polite. Joked and cut up with them. A lot of times that'll help you to work through a bad situation with folks. Well, they'll try to get me in early, but they ain't gonna make no promises. Long story short, they did get me in. They got me out by 2:30. You know, 3 o'clock appointment. They got me out by 2:30, and it took me, I don't know, 2.5 hours to get about 100 miles to get someplace to park. That's brokers for you. And yeah, I put that on the broker, not on my dispatcher. Because I had talked to that broker, and he didn't. I had to call him to get the pickup number. It was one of them places where I was talking about the information is gold. Some of them brokers are like that. He didn't want to give up no information. You know, you have to call to get your pickup number and the address to where you're delivering. Really? So that's what I did. And he didn't mention no 3 o'clock. So, well, me and that old boy was talking, and he lives in California. Well, he's talking, he's never really been out of California. He drives local for a big water company, delivering water. And we got discussing trucks, and he had the same truck that I have, the Volvo, automatic. They're about the same year. He said, what kind of fuel mileage you get? I said, it kind of depends. I said, around 5.7. He's like, really? I thought you'd get more than that. And I said, well, I've been idling a lot out here. APU air conditioner don't keep it cold enough in here for me. So I said, and I run my truck too. Well, how fast will it run? I said, mine does 72. I said, I guarantee you when I'm in these 75-mile-an-hour states, I'm doing 72. I said, now that I've got out here in California, the mileage has picked up. He's telling me that if he gets over 60, bells and whistles are going off, tattletelling on him. Now, I told him I couldn't do that. He says, I bet you hate it going from 72 to 55. I said, who does 55? Yeah. He said, only when they're looking. California ain't near as bad as it used to be. They're one of the holdouts on that 55. What is it? I think Michigan's still 55. Illinois and Ohio, Indiana, they all bumped theirs up, I do believe. Washington, they're 60. They ain't bumped theirs up. Oregon's 55, but they bumped it up to 60 and 65 in a few places. But good old California, 55. You don't see the cops near like you used to out there. It ain't nothing like, I boycotted it for years. A bunch of us did. But now I'm on my way towards the house. Go see what kind of mischief I can get into. So that's what I've been doing. No, I ain't been on here, but that's what I've been doing. So now you've been updated. Y'all have a blessed evening. Remember, God loves you and so do I. Good night.